He's straight. Okay. So it's live on YouTube. It's live on Facebook. It's about to start a live stream on Facebook here. And it's gonna be a chat room right here on the side. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scientific breakthroughs, unveilings, spiritual revelations. I'm a malnutrition, chemically imbalance.
El-Bey. I'm here on the 8th day of October, the 10th month. So that's what they say, October, the 10th month, even though octo means 8. So, it's a mix up somewhere. Sep means 7. And of course, we have Dec. December means 10, so that's the 10th month. But not to get into that, that's not what we're here for tonight. Tonight we're talking about Qigong, skill in the breath. So with Qigongs, I hope this is. Fix the light a little bit. See if I can adjust. Qigongs is an ancient practice in internal martial arts as well as external martial arts. My bad.
Scientific breakthroughs.
It involves certain movements that enhance activities within the body, like the metabolic rate. I'm not going to go too far into my own rant on what it is. I'm going to actually read out of a couple of different passages. First, I want to talk about clutter in the mind and how it affects us externally as well. And I actually received from my martial arts instructor a couple of years ago, transition from one point to the next. You know what I'm saying? But basically, clutter in the mind is it's sort of like something in the closet you can't find. You know what I'm saying? You got clutter in the closet, you're looking for something, and you got a label for it. It might be a T-shirt, a shoe, or something, but it's so much, you know, filter whatnot in the closet that you're looking over it because it's under like 10 pounds of dirty clothes or 10 pounds of books or 10 pounds of boxes. It's just a lot of other things in there that may not necessarily be beneficial for finding that shoe. So you give up, you're frustrated, and we just throw our hands in the air and walk out like bumping out wearing a pair of shoes. But that clutter in the is the same thing as clutter in the mind. So sometimes we have things in the mind. All right, so I'm gonna read this. Have you ever made any effort to sort through the things and get rid of items? Oh, my bad. I'm just moving things around and get rid of items um that don't serve any purpose in your life anymore. Again, I'm reading this. You may or may not have realized it, but you have opened up space around you to be filled with new and better things to make their way into your life. It has to do with universal law, the ebb and flow of spiritual abundance. I have found it to be true that the more we hold on to useless items, the less satisfied we become. Cluttered spaces secretly take away your creativity and energy. When we rid ourselves of all the useless material possessions, um, we place the attention on empty spaces. This increases our awareness and brings our consciousness to light. Decluttering detaches us from the emotional attachments we have created with things that are not serving us anymore. Holding on to things that are associated with negative experiences only focuses our mind on more of those kind of experiences and in turn recreates those experiences in our life. When we declutter our homes of things that have negative associations, we make room for creating new positive relations and thereby new experiences. Decluttering releases our stress, creating more room for applying our creativity and artistic drives. The hidden energy that is released from de-stressing our homes reaches out into all the other areas of our life, including internally, and creates a positive impact. This creates what metaphysics call the butterfly effect, a term which refers to the idea that when a butterfly flaps its wings, it creates a tiny change in the atmosphere that may lead to a bigger chain of events like altering the path of a tornado or even prevent its occurrence. The point is, even a small event can cause a chain of large scale events and alter the layout of an entire civilization. Decluttering our home creates deeper levels of serenity and fulfillment in our life. The extra space that we create by decluttering our spaces allows free flow of the chi or energy in our home. This free flowing energy alleviates our problems and creates a deeper level of harmony and balances in the universe. According to ancient beliefs, what we focus on expands itself automatically. When we focus our attention on clutter that surrounds our physical space, our unconscious mind starts creating more clutter in emotional areas of our life and in daily interactions as well. On the other hand, when the physical space around us is clean and well organized, we create more balanced relationships and stability in life. As you can see, decluttering goes beyond just the physical realm of our life. It has a multitude of benefits that extends from spiritual to financial and emotional realms. Few things in life can cause more stress and aggravation than an overwhelming amount of clutter in our immediate surroundings and the spaces in which we live. It prevents us from getting our main concerns right. Clutter does not only mean discarded clothes, year old bills, and spoiled food in our refrigerator. It also extends to interactions gone sour, friendships which have turned out to be anything but, and goals in life which have become dismissed. Hoarding and clutter are closely related and will only divert our views from the really essential things. We waste time rooting through old and useless items in our quest to find the one we really need, resulting in stress and frustration, which can seriously damage our health and efficiency. Are you wondering what clearing the clutter from our homes has to do with healing? Often I have found that we clean up our surroundings, we clear our mental and our emotional bodies as well. Pain and disease in our lives can be indications of overabundance. Release them and release them and be able to travel along life's paths a little freer afterwards. Nothing will do it faster than cleaning out a closet, and that's the truth. All right. So clutter in the mind is what it just read. I was reading something right there, but clutter in the mind. So clearing the clutter, clearing your space, clearing your mind, clearing physical um physical things around us is also a representation or represents things that's going on internally. So we have a lot of just built up items around us that may not necessarily need to be there any longer. We need to go ahead and clean up that space. Check out this pic right here. You see how it looked over here. They just putting things right, like they just this is the garage in the living room. And then you see the after effect. I bet you they was living a lot more serene. You see the lady over here, she reading a book and comfortable. She couldn't even get in there like that at first, of course, if she wanted to. And if they ever sat down in that room, it would probably just for a brief moment to take a break to bring some more stuff in the house and put it in the garage living room. I guess, right? You know what I'm saying? But basically, we should always be observant and mindful of what's going on externally, like in our living space. You know, sometimes we don't even respect the fact that what's around me in my atmosphere, in my environment, is affecting me. But it is, you know what I'm saying? Certain things that we are looking at can cause psychological as well as emotional, mental, and physical dilemmas later on. All right, try to get the light right. uh, Seesaw. Oh boy, look at the wit. Look. Okay, it's one of them days. You already know. I'm the love child of Cornel West and Francis Cress Wilson. So you gotta forget 13 days with 13 years a slave. No, I'm not. All right, that's better. Do the cow. Nah. All right, so I'm gonna go back into some literature right here. So I'm talking about qigongs and skilling the breath. The breath is very valuable. Oh, I want to give thanks to First World Order Radio too. Forgive me. The family went to on their cruise past week. They went to a couple of places, checked out the pyramids down there in Mexico, Cosmo, I think it was not Bahamas, but Jamaica, and they are back and doing it. You know, I'm pretty sure Dr. Alim will be on here soon, expressing some of the information that and whatnots, like the artifacts that they may have uncovered and stuff, and actually seen. And I know they got the math on that, so be looking out. Give thanks to them, Dr. Alim and Sister Kadira. Um, much love and respect to them guys for laying this platform for the Nagas and the niggas to, you know what I mean, the gods and goddesses, the kings and queens to do their thing. You know, um, I'm not gonna keep you too long. I always say that. I'm gonna keep it as abbreviated as possible. You know, but I'm a Gemini, so hey, try to be a man of my word, like you say, in integrity. But sometimes you just get long winded. But I'm gonna get into it. So first thing I'm gonna talk about first, I want to bring up processed foods. This is a book right here called. It's kind of ripped up and stuff, but the book is called Complete Book of Chinese Health and Healing. Guarding the Three Treasures. What are the three treasures? First of all, the three treasures. This is coming from another book though. It's called Chinese Qigong, the root of Chinese Qigong. If you can see that, the root of Chinese Qigong. So the three treasures are Jing, Qi, and Shen. Understanding Jing, which means essence, basically, internal energy, and Shen, which means spirit, and then Qi, which means internal energy. Shen means spirit, and Jing means essence. All right, so with Jing, Jing is the Chinese word that means again essence. Um, when it's applied to this type of thought, it is considered to be life, basically. So it exists in everything. Jing may be considered the primal substance or original source from which a thing is made and which exhibits the true nature of that thing. When Jing is used in reference to animals or humans, it means the very original or central source of life and growth, the essence of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like the sperm, the ova, all right, that brings forth the child. So, Jing, um, original Jing is the most important part of you because it is the root of your body, Qi and Shen. So Yang Jing, this Jing is what you get after birth. After your birth, you start to absorb the Jing of food and air, converting these Jings into Qi, which supplies your body's needs. So once you're born, original Jing is the foundation or the fountainhead and root of your life. It is what enables you to grow stronger. It's what we get from our mom and our dad, basically, the original Jing within our genetics, you know what I'm saying, that actually forms the physical body. So the amount and quality of original gene is different from person to person and is affected significantly by your parents' health and living habits while they were creating you. According to Chinese medicine, you probably cannot increase the amount of gene you have. It is believed, however, that Qigong training can improve its quality. So that's why we're going to speak on Qigong and go over a couple of Qigong exercises because it increases the quality of your gene or your original essence. All right, so in Qigong training, knowing how to conserve and firm your original gene is of primary importance. To conserve means to refrain from abusing your original gene through overuse. For example, if you overindulge in sexual activity, you will lose original gene faster than other people, and your body will degenerate faster. To firm your gene means to keep and protect it. Kidneys are thought of as the residents of original gene. When your kidneys are strong, the original gene will be kept firm and will not be lost without reason. The firming of your original gene is called Gu Jing, which is translated to make solid, to firm the essence. So that's obtain, retain, and then cultivate. Well, that's one of the, um, I guess you could say, is one of the ways that I like to um, express how to utilize your gene or your chi and your shin, basically. But you obtain the gene or the original essence through food and air and good quality water. So breathe in good food and good water. you obtain you drink nutrients basically and the essence, life, you know what I'm saying? So you put that in and then you retain it. You keep it, you conserve it by doing gungs for one, but then also by restraining in certain other activities, like they were speaking in this book. Sexual activities actually degenerate us faster. That's why the man. If you ever notice a man, as men as we get older, our backs start getting weaker, and we start going forward a lot more than walking upright and straight because kidney energy is located in the back. The kidney meridian is in the back, and as well as sciatic. So the sciatic and kidneys are connected as well as the hip flexor. So all that being connected, if the catalyst is over sexual activities, then what's going to take place fundamentally is those aspects of the body will start to weaken a lot faster. So men start, leaning forward more and more as they get 60, 70 years old from an overabundance of exerting spermatozoa and whatnot. So, in ancient practices, we would actually um, restrain or hold back is what it's called, and we would keep the energy in and let it circulate back up and utilize it for health and whatnot. And keep strong, keep the body energetic and strong. All right. So that's Jing. We're not gonna go into Chi too much. We'll talk about that a little bit later, as well as Shin. Shin is spirit, but put emphasis on Jing because that's the food, air, and the water. So high quality food means not processed. So now we go into this book here. Oh, wrong section. Chinese health and healing. All right, the complete book of Chinese health and healing. Processed food. Processed food. If you wish to remain healthy and avoid ailments of the digestive organs, particularly cancer, hold on, let me pull something up real quick for you. Something like this right there, right there. Hold up, right there. That ain't what you were looking for, but that's what you found. Get rid of that clutter, and you will notice what's good and bad for you. So, because the mind has a funny way of tricking us because we have these memories and stuff. We always want to go back to the same thing when it might not necessarily be so healthy mentally, emotionally, or physically. So, if you wish to remain healthy and avoid ailments of the digestive organs, particularly cancer, you'd be well advised to eliminate all processed food completely from your diet. In the age of fast food, pre cooked frozen dinners, packaged snacks, and other convenience food, abstaining from processed food may seem difficult, but in fact, it's not. It's just as quick to eat an apple as it is to a package of potato crisps. Just as convenient to have nuts and seeds and dried fruit for breakfast as packaged cereal with cow's milk. And just as easy to make an avocado sandwich as a hamburger, it's all a matter of habit. And I had one of them avocado hamburgers yesterday. It was one of them days. I can't remember. Was it? Did I have an avocado sandwich? Was it here or was it at your house? Oh, the Vitality. Yeah, yeah. It was vegan and gluten free. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it was gluten free bread, and it was right tasty. All it is texture, basically the context of it and how it's made, and then muscle memory. The taste of it. We're looking for one thing, and it may not be all too um, good for the body, beneficial. All right. So today, over 6,000 synthetic chemicals are officially condoned for use in the processed food industry, including some that are known to have carcinogenic properties. Furthermore, processed foods also contain high levels of the debilitating denatured ingredients we wish to avoid, such as white sugar, refined starch, pasteurized cow's milk, landmine salt, and hydrogenated vegetable oils. Hydrogenated vegetable oils like safflower oil, that mixture they say vegetable oil, and then they got like three different oils in there, and it might be and or like that slash be right there. So all that hydrogenated basically is oils made with nickel as the catalyst. So it's like it's hardened, and then we put it into our body, and guess what happens? It hardens the alkalinity of our body and our cells. All right, so the human immune system correctly recognizes chemical food additives as toxic foreign agents and fights hard to rid the body of them, causing severe biochemical reactions and putting great stress on the immune system. After years of daily exposure to such inorganic chemicals, The immune system finally breaks down and burns out, leaving the body vulnerable to attack by microbes, toxins, and cancerous cells. Although the food industry has duped the public as well as government health agencies into believing that their products are safe for human consumption, there is abundant scientific evidence to the contrary, and this information is in the public domain, openly available to anyone who seeks it. Ignorance is therefore no longer a valid excuse for poisoning yourself with industrial alterated foods. Only you can control what goes into your mouth and down to your stomach. Right. Who's responsible for you? As I was saying the other day, it takes work to do certain things. You want something in life, you gotta work towards it. I was speaking on something the other day, and my niece commented on it. She said, "You said a car gonna fly out the sky, cause a car ain't just gonna fly out the sky, right? No, we gotta work towards getting that car. We gotta work towards getting a new house or work towards paying for college tuition. It's something that we're gonna have to do in order to get to that next step. So if you want optimal health, we have to work towards it. And optimal health ain't just speaking on something physical, like our body feels good and all that. It starts in the mind by way of the spirit, the intelligence. So if everything ain't intact properly from the jump, then it's going to be altercations or obstructions. It's going to be blockages that delays the actual processing and functioning of the healing of the body. All right, so being mindful and releasing some of that, well, releasing the clutter in general and cleaning our space, that's mentally, will then inevitably create that change that we're looking for, right? So acidosis is one of the side effects of not producing or not placing the correct type of gene or putting the gene in the body properly, and also is one of the side effects of processed foods. So I'm gonna read acidosis by itself out of another good book that I've been connected to for a few minutes, Prescription for Nutritional Healing. Pick it up if you don't have it already. It was blessed to me. Give thanks to Amanda, my friend, years ago, about 10 years ago, handed me this book, and I've been in it since. All right, so acidosis. Acidosis is a condition in which body chemistry becomes imbalanced and overly acidic. Symptoms associated with acidosis include frequent sighing, insomnia, water retention, recessed eyes, rheumatoid arthritis, migraine headaches, abnormally low blood pressure, dry hard stools, foul smelling stools accompanied by a burning sensation in the anus, alterating parts of. I need to turn this down for a moment. So we'll get them pop-ups like that. Here we go. Okay, alternating constipation and diarrhea, difficulty swallowing, burning in the mouth and or under the tongue, sensitivity of the teeth to vinegar and acidic fruits, and bumps on the tongue or the roof of the mouth. You know how sometimes you eat an orange, like, oh God, oh, that burn. And then no energy, fatigue, frequent signs, yawning all the time, insomnia, can't sleep at night, water retention, holding on to water, can't use bathroom, arthritis, migraine headaches. And these are all symptoms or signs of the seasonal affective disorder as well, or SAD. But acidity and alkalinity are measured according to the pH or the potential of hydrogen or throughout the body. Water with a pH of 7 is considered neutral, neither acid nor alkaline. Anything with a pH below 7 is acid, while anything with a pH above 7 is alkaline or alkaline. The ideal pH range for the human body is between 6.8 and 6.0 or 6.0 and 6.8. The human body is naturally mildly acidic, so values below pH 6.3 are considered on the acidic side, and values above pH 6.8 are on the alkaline side. Acidosis occurs when the body loses alkaline reserve. Some causes of acidosis include kidney, liver, and adrenal disorders, improper diet, malnutrition, obesity, ketosis, anger, stress, fear, anorexia, toxemia, fever, and the consumption of excessive amounts of nicotine, vitamin C, or aspirin. Diabetics often suffer from acidosis. Stomach ulcers are often associated with this condition as well. All right, as we was talking about the other day, the leading cause of most diseases or all diseases really is one thing. What's the leading cause of all diseases? I'm pop quiz, McQueen. What's, hmm? You know what it is. Starts with the S, ends with the S. Sit and rest. Stress. Hmm. Yeah. Stress is the leading cause of all disease of most diseases. Um, so when we relieve ourselves of stressful situations, and which Qigong has the capability of doing because it's a very mindful exercise or exercise. So, and deep breathing is also taking place. So that means we're going to be producing melatonin or tapping to the parasympathetic nervous system to where it's the relaxation response basically versus the um, sympathetic nervous system where it's the fight or flight response. So when we are in that realm of being in the parasympathetic nervous system, again, we are producing certain hormones and fluids in the body, such as melatonin, a chemical that actually acts on toxicity because it's an anti-inflammatory and it's an antioxidant, and it is also a free radical scavenger. So certain things that can obstruct or even degenerate the cell from being as far as rejuvenating or regenerating, and also obstruct the nutrients to activate properly within that cell are cleaned out or purged out by way of qigongs or deep breathing exercises. Again, qigong means to skill the breath. So anything that's skilled means it's going to take time and effort. Gung means time and effort. As far as like gung fu means the time and effort to learn how to fight, or kung fu, as we say in the West. But gung fu means the time and effort to learn how to master these skills in martial arts. So qi gung, qi meaning energy or breath, means basically the time and effort or the discipline required to um, skill the breath or skill the energy. So it doesn't happen overnight, but as time goes on, it varies as well because some people we may regress. You know, I've done it. I ain't gonna front like I'm perfect or anything. It's a learning process. But the higher the quality the drink or the higher the quality the food, air, and water that we place into the body, the easier it is to access the energy for the healing process. For instance, my hand, you might not be able to see it too well, but it's like these three little marks right here on my hand. I did. I fell on the skateboard. Well, no, actually, I was skating, roller skating, at my house in the driveway, cement, and I fell. Scratched my hand up real nasty. It was a hole right here. It's been a week and a half, and you really can't even see it because the body heals a little faster when you practice these type of exercises. Because especially if you're going through the modalities, or if we're activating each one properly in the existence of like what is supposed to be placed in the body from the gene level, and then how to move the chi, the internal energy, so it activates the spirit or the intelligence internally to flow. Because all of it's connected, everything's interconnected. The doctor is not going to prescribe us a pill to heal. That pill is to kill. It's addictive, and it's not doing anything for us if y'all ain't noticed. You know, everybody's still running back and forth to these doctors to get medications or get chemo or radiation or something, and then we walking away with more medication and either passing away because the radiation and chemical, the chemotherapy didn't actually induce good health. So what we need to do is find alternative measures, which are ancient. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a new under the sun. It's just that we've been duped again. We've lost our way because of forgetfulness. You know, if somebody told me 100 times that this Coca-Cola bottle is good, even though we ain't really reading the label, we ain't noticing the sugar count or the calories or none of that stuff. We're not really paying attention to that. It's just somebody else and showed me. Oh, here we go. Then we're gonna continue to drink it. But if somebody continues to say this is a skull and a crossbone on this Coca-Cola bottle, it's toxic. It's toxic. It's toxic. It's toxic. It's killing me. It's killing you. It's killing us. Then maybe we will turn away from that Coca-Cola bottle and we'll figure it out. But first, we got to sit it down to understand and understand that it is not for our health, mentally, emotionally, or physically. It's actually deteriorating us a lot faster. And if we noticing our children and how they, all over the place, and then when they grow and they become even more dependent on other drugs, not just the sugar. Sugar is our first drug, what I'm saying? But as they become more dependent on mental health and the drugs that are related to that, as far as their serotonin and melatonin levels not being adequate or balanced, but due to our diet, what we're doing at that kitchen table is actually the reason that things on the external, outside of that kitchen, outside of that fire, it's not burning properly. You know what I'm saying? The heart is where the home is where the heart is. So if our home is in that Coca-Cola bottle and McDonald's cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets, then our heart is going to be mucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to allow the energies to flow through the body properly. What's in the circulatory system? Blood. All right. So now when we go into second part of what I was talking about with Qigong, and this is talking about the four foundations. So I'm gonna read four different aspects of what um, is going on with us internally. So the four foundations of health are blood, energy, nourishment, and resistance. The four foundations of health are blood, energy, nourishment, and resistance. They are interactive and mutually dependent, and their condition and relative balance determine the state of one's health and the strength of one's resistance to disease and degeneration. Among the four foundations, the continuous and unimpeded circulation of blood and energy forms the basis and the vehicle for the nourishment and resistance of the entire organism. Blood and energy flow constantly as water in a stream, revolve continuously as the sun and moon turn endlessly as a circle. That is stated in an eternal medicine classic for the traditional Chinese medicine. All right, blood is the circulatory vehicle for nourishment. Both belong Both are forms of essence. The fluid biochemical forms of nourishment circulate within the blood vessels, while the pure bioenergetic potency derived from nourishment, which is called nourishing energy, flows within the energy meridians. Similarly, energy is the circulatory vehicle for resistance and are functional manifestations of energy. The type of energy which generates resistance is called protective energy, or Wei Qi, and circulates through the subcutaneous tissues around the surface of the body. Protective energy and the resistance to provide circulate outside the blood vessels and energy meridians. The interrelationships among the four foundations are summarized in the following chart. So it's a chart right here. May not really be able to read it like to talk about, but I'm gonna place it right there. So it says the vehicle, the function, the pole, the treasure, the location, the path, and the role. I can't read, it's blurry from that angle. But maybe you can see it and screenshot it or whatnot. The four foundation. You can also look it up. The Google Guru, So basically, what I was saying about blood. So blood, right here, what it says, blood is the circulatory vehicle for nourishment. Nourishment is also one of the four foundations. Um, so when we're thinking about it, I'm gonna read this first. The term blood includes all the essential elements of which blood is composed and for which blood serves as a circulatory vehicle, including red and white blood cells, T and B lymphocytes and scavenger cells, enzymes and hormones, glucose and nutrients. It also refers to the overall condition of the bloodstream. Its degree of purity or toxicity, acid or alkaline, pH balance, its capacity to carry oxygen and nutrients, and its circulatory efficiency. Blood depends on the heart for circulation, on the liver for filtering out toxins and replenishing nutrients, and on the marrow for fresh supplies of red and white blood cells. Among the four foundations, blood is the factor most directly responsible for the nourishment and overall welfare of the physical body, and its condition influences the other three foundations through the complementary interplay of what we would call yin and yang. For example, since blood nourishes energy and carries nourishment, weak or toxic blood cannot sustain high energy and cannot circulate sufficient nourishment to meet the body's needs. In turn, insufficient nourishment cannot nurture high resistance, and low energy provides a poor vehicle for resistance. So within the four foundations, blood is the primary ingredient and regulator of health. So that's why I was talking about if the heart. If we're in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, the heart of the house, or you know what I'm saying, home is where the heart is. That's where everything's starting. And we're in that kitchen and we putting whatever it is into this, this vehicle, the fuel that ain't gonna get us nowhere in life like that. Then yeah, it's gonna be obstructions. It's gonna be malnutrition. Basically, it's gonna be things that's not occurring within the regeneration of that cell. Again, we're 80%. The cell is 80% alkalinity and 20% other acid. So an overabundance of acidic forming foods. So we was talking about acidosis. You know what I'm saying? But processed foods as well. So acidosis causes what within the body again? Low blood pressure, dry heart, stools, migraine, rheumatoid arthritis, frequent sign, water retention, um, diarrhea, burning in the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Insomnia, frequent, I said that already, but also fatigue. So we're not getting that energy flowing through the body, which is required for vitality. Vitality basically means energy as well. But when we are putting those things in there, it's obstructing the blood flow. So if the blood ain't flowing properly, and the nourishment or the nourishing elements that we need, such as vitamins, minerals, you know what I'm saying, are not going in there. You know what I'm saying? So we need these nutrients in the blood to go to, because the blood in our breath as well, oxygen moves the blood through the circulatory system so that the nutrients that are in the blood will feed the cell. But if the nutrients that are in the blood aren't healthy for the blood, then the cell goes, stop it. It puts up a blockage, or it says, nah, I'm not. It ain't going in there, and the body's going to attempt to clean it out all day, every day through the evacuation canals by urinating or either by evacuating through the colon. But if the blockages keep occurring over time or whatnot, then other occurrences will, dilemmas will occur in the body. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be getting taxed. All the other organs are going to be getting taxed, and then, it's dumping this toxic material in there. So we have tumors, or, it could start as cysts or bumps on the external skin, subcutaneous areas, then it turn into cysts and tumors over time. You know what I'm saying? And those issues will start to elevate into more of a problematic situation. So again, that's the four foundations as far as blood. That's the first one. Energy is the second one. Energy refers to all the various types of bioenergy is associated with human health and vitality, including the elemental energies of the vital organs. The nourishing energy which circulates in the meridians, the protective energy which suffuses the surface of the body, and the neuroactive energy of the nervous system. Energy is associated with the lungs through breathing, which extracts external energy from air and blends it into the bloodstream with the internal energy extracted by digestion from food and water. The resulting blend is the basis for human energy and metabolism. Energy also refers to the relative balance and condition of the body's collective energies as measured on four polar scales. That would be yin and yang, cold and hot, deficient and excessive, internal and external, when pertaining to the traditional Chinese medicine. Since energy commands blood and also generates resistance, deficient or stagnant energy impedes circulation of blood, depriving the body of adequate nourishment and lowers resistance. I love you. Okay. All right, so right there, where I'm speaking about energy, it refers to all various types of bioenergy associated with human health and vitality, including the elemental energies of the vital organs. The nourishing energy which circulates in the meridians, the protective energy which suffuses the surface of the body. And we go back over here to blood, where it says energy is the circulatory vehicle for resistance and are functional manifestations of energy. Um, the type of energy which generates resistance is called protective energy, or Wei Qi, and circulates through subcutaneous tissues around the surface of the body. So protective energy circulates around the skin right here. It's like right there above it. Right. The Qigong exercise we're gonna go through tonight is similar to isometrics, but it's not isometrics. It's also called relaxation and tension exercises. Isometrics It's basically a system of physical exercises in which muscles are caused to act against each other by maybe demonstrating or performing at that time. All right. So we're gonna go through them in a few minutes. I'm gonna actually bring up something that I filmed the other day. I placed it on YouTube. I was out of the park, but I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna briefly discuss it, a little discourse on that, to let you know what's going on in the movements, because I didn't even explain it then. So I'm gonna have a brief explanation. It's gonna be abbreviated, but I'm gonna also try to demonstrate it here live. If not, then we just go through it from what's on YouTube, and you can always go back to that too. It was called, what is it called? Seafood Elohee, um, Equinox or something. I'll look it up real quick. Bada bada boom, bada bada bang. Hold up, where is it? I'm about to find out what it is. IFU Elohee, Elohee, early rising exercises. It'll go through some of those exercises, or basically relaxation and tension exercises. All right, where were we? So we went over energy. Nourishment is a functional extension of blood upon whose unimpeded circulation it depends for delivery. It obtains vital nutrients from the stomach and associated digestive organs and vital fluids from the glands. The nourishing elements circulated in the blood include such basic nutrients as vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and glucose, blood sugar, as well as essential secretions such as hormones and enzymes. Nourishment refers primarily to the vital biodynamic functions of blood than to nutrients and other forms of essence themselves. In addition to circulating internally as biochemicals within the blood vessels, a more pure and potent form of nourishment extracted from essential substances and called essential energy or vitality circulates internally within 12 major meridians associated with the vital organs. The meridians is a system in acupuncture and acupressure that we participate with on a day to day. 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. Things. The essential elements of nourishment depends upon adequate diet and nutrition, efficient digestion and assimilation or breaking down the food items so the nutrients will go through the body properly, and sufficient secretions of essential hormones and enzymes. All right. So nourishment is a functional extension of blood upon whose unimpeded circulation it depends for delivery. So if the blood is impeded, then the nourishment is impeded, and therefore the Wei Qi will be impeded, and external or the protective layer, which is on the external part of the body, that's what we're going to be strengthening tonight. The Wei Qi, protective energy, will be minimized. So the higher the gene, the higher the quality of food, the air, and the water, the more protection you'll have against external devices or vices. You know what I'm saying? But it starts where? In the mind. So you got to do it in order to know how it will improve your health mentally, physically, emotionally, you know what I'm saying, from those point of views. So to activate that intelligence properly is our personal responsibility. Me talking about is one thing, but you doing it is the application. So there is theory, and all that, but what's theory without applying it to life? That's where we find the science of it and the facts behind it. But then we find the truth, which will be through your own personal experience by experiencing the information. You know what I'm saying? It's locked in there. It's lies buried in the library that we believe, you know what I'm saying? And we go in there and read those books, try to pass tests and all this other stuff. I gotta go to the library now just to get on Google, some shit, Facebook. I don't. I mean, I'm just saying in general, we go to the library and we do these things, but where is the truth at really? It's in our DNA, it's in our genetics. You know what I'm saying? It's locked in that book, the book of life. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta unlock that by being mindful of what's going on externally and what's not really healthy for us from all perspectives, from all angles. All right. So the last one is resistance. Resistance is a functional manifestation of the protective energy which flows along the surface of the body. Again, the subcutaneous or the skin, right there outside, right there at the skin. You know what I mean? All right. Which flows along the surface of the body outside the energy meridians. Depends on the kidneys and adrenal glands as a primary source of energy and is related to sexual vitality and sexual hormones. Resistance radiates outwards from the surface of the body and beyond, forming a protective shield which guards the body from invasion by the six evils, or excessive environmental energies. It manifests itself as vitality and is reflected in the condition of skin, pores, and hair. Its primary indicator in Chinese diagnosis is called qi, literally the energy color, a term which refers to an individual's vitality as reflected in the tone and color of his or her facial complexion, meaning ears, eyes, and tongue. A bright rosy complexion, clear eyes, pink tongue, and well-fleshed ears indicate flourishing vitality and strong resistance, while a pallid complexion or pale complexion, dull eyes, dark tongue, and pale ears reflect low vitality and weak resistance. Resistance is therefore a sort of radiant energy which suffuses and surrounds the entire surface of the body, protecting it from negative external energies. Since blood follows where energy leads, strong protective energy draws blood to the surface, especially in the face, where its sufficiency or deficiency is reflected in the energy color of complexion. So you can tell where you see someone that's under the weather, like got a cold or something, their face like real dull, and there's no blood basically going to the face. How you can read someone's resistance or Wei Qi, the protective shield or the protective Qi. So when the blood is not properly flowing through the body and there's something going on, some type of dilemma, then you can see it in the face. It won't be like a glow on the face. It won't be a shine. It'll be very pallid or dull. The ears won't have which is the ears won't have the little glow on it. I can't get it in the light right now. The light is avoiding that. But you know how certain people you be like, dang, you got that, you got a glow about yourself or something. They may be practicing internal exercise, meditation, qigong, tai chi, or something, eating properly. You know that does it too because you're putting a lot of alkalinity in the body. So therefore, you have that resistance from the external vices that may produce bad health. You know, cold, dampness, hot, um, uh, and so forth. All right, so go into Qigong. So Qigong, the fourth foundation may also be strengthened by marshaling energy through the daily practices of Qigong. This is perhaps the most potent and effective system of preventive health care in the world. Applying the principle that blood follows where energy leads, Qigong brings the breathing process under voluntary control in order to harness and circulate energy, which simultaneously stimulates the circulation of blood to all tissues. Again, what is blood? Blood is the carrier of the information to the cell. So if the blood is obstructed and ain't moving properly, it's just like you got a broke cell phone, you're trying to call somebody, my phone broke though. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to get that direct message directly to where it got to go properly, then we need to have the phone need to work. You know what I'm saying? Phone means light, you know, again, a photo. You know, is where we get the word phone. Telephone means to speak to the light. The light speaks. So where were we? Where were we? Applying the principle that blood follows where energy leads, Qigong brings the breathing process under voluntary control in order to harness and circulate energy, which simultaneously stimulates the circulation of blood to all tissues. Qigong regulates the heart, impulse oxygenates the bloodstream, and detoxifies um, blood and tissue by facilitating rapid excretion of metabolic waste as well as toxic pollutants absorbed from the environment. I'm gonna go to this still shot right here. If you can't read that, you know what I'm saying, it's right there. My bad. Qigong builds the foundation of nourishment by stimulating secretion of hormones from glands, increasing secretions of digestive enzymes in the pancreas and stomach, and improving metabolism. It also gives a direct boost to resistance by driving and distributing energy outwards to the surface, thereby enhancing guardian energy. The last effect is reflected in the visible improvement of Qi in the facial, or that again, Qi means color, energy, um, or Qi means color, energy, in the facial complexion of anyone who practices Qigong for a while. Spiritual practices such as meditation also help fortify the four foundations and should also always be included in any well-balanced program of preventive health care. Chronic stress severely strains the adrenals and nerves, and meditation is a quick and effective way to switch the autonomous nervous system from the stressful sympathetic circuit over to the restful restorative parasympathetic circuit. Meditation permits the entire body to relax and the energy channels to open up, so that energy as well as blood may circulate freely throughout the system, invigorating organs, stimulating glands, and tonifying other vital tissues. It is no accident that in Eastern as well as Western traditions, paintings of monks, spiritual masters, holy men, and yogis always depict a halo around the head. That's the aura of energy which meditation generates the pure glow of radiant health. Meditation also cultivates the emotional equanimity and positive outlook, which are so essential to maintaining health and promoting longevity. All right. So the natural balance and harmony your body requires through energy, nourishment, blood. Well, what your body requires through the activation of the blood, energy, nourishment, and resistance is utilized and properly can be properly flowed or properly moved through the body by way of qigong and meditative exercises like qigong, tai chi, bawazan, different internal martial arts. But meditation is also a key. You know what I'm saying? So what does it take? It takes discipline, skill in the breath, and that is where we're gonna yeah, I'm gonna break it right there on the read, and we're gonna go into the actual movements here in one moment. Speak on this real quick. All right, so if there is a war against man, how would that war be fought? You have to fight it with natural elements that are in activity with man. And what are those active elements that we know of? And they are fire, air, water, and earth. How are these energies being manipulated in this World War III to produce some type of effect within the transmutation or transformation from mind, emotion, and the physicality? Again, emotion is energy in motion. So as spirit moves through the mind, and emotion is from spirit, so it's the energy in motion or the chi, as it moves from its place of origin into the mind, and then the emotion is altered, it can alter the physical being, especially if we are in a state of stress again. Sit and rest. Set and rest. These are two ancient words that have been conjoined together inside of this word that we call stress. Set, rest is an African word, metunitia, that set means darkness and rest, or rash means to rise. So darkness rising, darkness meaning ignorance in some cases of psychology, darkness, metaphysical psychology or whatnot. But basically, darkness is ignorance. So ignorance rising. So if ignorance keep rising to the brain or to the pineal gland, pituitary gland regions or whatnot, and keep producing ignorance within the body, then what's going to happen in its representation as it forms back into a manifestation of the physical side is not going to be so healthy. So in order for certain things to activate properly, we might need to slow down. Yeah. So we might need to slow down and take a look at ourselves and then be mindful by way of meditation of what's really going on. So fire, air, water, and earth are the four activities or the four basic elements on this plane. So how is the system or whatever the powers that be utilizing these four different elements through spirit, right? All right, so earth. Earth is where we cultivate our sustenance as far as food. So we have all these different processed, and as far as the agriculture is concerned, it's all type of things going on with, pesticides, insecticides, and things like that to the vegetation and produce. And then we're eating more acidic forming items such as grains like bread and things like that. and rice and things. They're more acidic than the vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So that's an issue. Then we have water. So water is contaminated, has umpteen type of chemicals in it. They dumping pharmaceuticals in it. Shit, some dirty dude is taking a bath in the stream, and he pisses and shits, and it flows downstream. And next thing you know, I'm drinking some man's shit and piss out the sink. God bless. Lord have. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. Shit happens. But basically, water's contaminated. You know what I mean? Look at Flint. You know what I'm saying? They've been dumping lead in that water over there in Flint, Michigan for like 20, 30 years. And now we have these docile children with, ADHD and autism and all type of different ailments that's occurring due to what they putting and placing in the water. You know what I'm saying? So that's another weapon against man there. Then we have the air pollutants in the air, aerosols and all that. They say, global warming and the ozone layer is depleting, greenhouse effect, but if you notice, and I ain't trying to get nobody on no conspiracy theory type things, but if you go outside and you look up and you see these jets flying around through the day in the morning, especially, you'll notice they leave a stream of gases in the air. And then, if you're really following it through the day, you'll see that stream, or what we would call contrails, it starts to form out into something thicker in about 20 minutes. And then later on, as they commence to add on to these lines, these contrails or chemtrails, chemical trails, they eventually cultivate into what we would look at as a cloud, but these are artificial clouds. You know what I'm saying? The cloud seeding. They're placing artificial elements in the air, be it aluminum sulfates, barium sulfates, and different other toxins that are not should not be breathed in on a day-to-day basis, like to talk about, but yet they are. You know what I'm saying? So we take these elements into the lungs and we take them into the blood, and next thing you know, we got mucus build up. In the middle of spring, we got the flu, and in summer, like we're wondering why. You know what I'm saying? And then we got contaminated water and contaminated food on top of that, which then with the contaminated air contaminates the fire. The fire is the blood, basically. So our own being, we are a weapon formed against ourselves, basically. So our blood being the fire, like I was saying earlier, is now contaminated and it flows into the cell where our health is or where our regeneration process will take place, and it goes backwards. It goes against us, you know what I'm saying? Due to all the other factors that are now against us, you know what I'm saying? Through our unknowingness or our darkness, rising stress, you know what I'm saying? The ignorance rising. So when we put a placeholder on it, can put a finger on it and be like, okay, this is what it is now. Knowing it's half the battle. Let's get some applications in here and let's really start functioning properly within the structure of our life or my life, your life. You know what I'm saying? Not living in accordance to what somebody's telling me externally. Let me see what it is about my breathing. Everything is about our breathing, believe it or not. When I'm happy, I breathe a certain way. When I'm sad, I breathe a certain way. When I'm angry, I breathe a certain way. So those different emotions, energy, emotion, breath, emotion, basically, spirit, emotion. Again, spirit is a Latin word that means breath. Spiritus is a Latin word that means to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So when that spirit or that breath is in motion, energy in motion, starts to go into the body as technology, or into the mind as technology, and it's not in its place and purpose for truth in our existence, then it can cause stress or ignorance rising. You know what I'm saying? Because we be like, what the hell? I know I got a purpose, but what is my purpose? So sometimes we got to sit down, relax, bring it back. But say, bring it back, woosah. You know what I mean? So bring it back. You know what I mean? Bring all of that negative energy and convert it into positive energy, so the outcome can be positive. As long as we reflect on the negativity, that's what it's going to be. The actual movements. You can screenshot that too if you wish. these are good, because ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So I take that to heart right there. That's my fire right there. That's my fuel. Cause I know ain't nobody gonna do it for me. If I want to get up in the morning and put my feet on the ground, I don't want nobody to come in that room and grab my legs and put my feet on the ground. So I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's up to me to get up and get it moving. And my first affirmation is I am king. Let me do my king thing. And then, I look at my queen, I'm like, that's my queen right there. And she know what it is. She know what to do. She gonna do her queen thing. You know what I mean? Even in our absence from each other, that trust and that love is gonna be there because we doing our king and queen thing. You know what I'm saying? We building our kingdom and our queendom. So it won't be no faults in between time, in the meantime, because we have a commonality, we have an equanimity or balance, we have equality through what we would call reciprocity. Basically, what that is my eye. If you want to go into terms of ancient mystic spiritualism, but basically, we doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Peace, everyone, and on Facebook as well as on YouTube. We're going from both realms tonight doing it like that. I hope they liking it. I hope I think they like it. They ain't cut me off yet, so it be what it be. All in all, we're gonna continue. Now I'm gonna bring up the actual Qigong movements from earlier this month. It was actually the end of September, the the autumnal equinox when I filmed this, and I'm gonna explain it as best as possible from this angle here. The music is playing. I'm gonna turn it down.
Name dressed by the verse that gave me a claim. It's just basic.
I'll come back to that in one moment. Let me plug it out. Yeah, take this out. It's too loud. And I don't need the music actually. PM. Alright, so that way I can explain what's going on in the movements. And we are back to the movements here.
Safe to inhale. And if you live well, belong to years and the stay you will be. A timeless octave to play for the tree is rooted in every single nerve in me.
Okay, so
the nerve of heat.
right there, I just
knows the
opened
key.
it up.
The music that opens the mind to be free. Whenever your hot head it pours you a breeze. Beneath the clouds you allowed to see. In clarity, through harmony. Someone harming me, that won't be done. I stand protected by the laws of
pause it if it allows me to. What's going on right there? This is a relaxation tension exercise. So as you see my hands placed there at the chest, thymus gland. The thymus gland produces T cells, very important for the immunity of the body. You know what I'm saying? Very important. We was reading that in parts of blood. Here we go. Blood, including the central elements of which blood is composed and for which blood serves as a circulatory vehicle, including red and white blood cells, T and B lymphocytes, and scavenger cells. So the thymus gland is right there. It's right here in the center, and that's where T cells are formed. But it's very important within bringing about protective chi or immunity from external elements and things. All right, so the first movement again.
Always the key. The music that opens the mind to be free. Whenever you're hot headed.
I'm holding that position. I'm gonna come back to it. Oh Lord. Continue to plexus.
Try and let you know I'm here. For harming me, that won't be done. I stand protected by the laws of fun. I am perfected through the rhymes of run. Walk it this way and leave the party stunned.
I'm not pausing. I was pressing stop. All right, so when the first one, the hands are going to be placed like in prayer hands right there at the chest. The I'm coming back to the screen right here. So the hands will be right here like that. The hands will be right here like such, and we're gonna bring them in to where you're actually pressing. You want to keep your shoulders relaxed. You don't want to be tense right here. Try to stay relaxed in your shoulders. And when you press in, you just press in using the muscles against muscles. So left hand and right hand can press in together. While you breathe in, you're going to breathe in like a normal breath. Tongues at the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. You're going to breathe in and lock all the muscles in the body. Tense up all the muscles. You know what I'm saying? From the toes all the way up to that neck, your head, if you can really put the intent towards that. You're going to lock all those muscles. You know what I'm saying? Hold it for 6, and then you're going to relax for 6. So the count is 6, 3, 6, 3. So basically, you breathe in here through the nose, tongues at the roof of the mouth, tightening up all the muscles. Again, this is a relaxation tension exercise. Hold it for 6. Place all the energy at the sternum level. You see the thumb right here, the thumbs will be located right at that sternum level where that is a little divot in your chest. I call this the key to the lock of the heart. So you place it right there. You don't necessarily have to touch it, but over time you get used to that energy flowing in this realm, producing and the intent over force, intent over matter, force over matter. Mind over matter. So intent over force. So you bring it in, hold for 6. Breathe in for 6, hold for 3, then breathe out for 6, allowing the lower abdomen to go towards the spine. When you breathe in, the lower abdomen proceeds outwardly, making your stomach large, like a beach ball, like we say, or pregnant women. Then you breathe out, the lower abdomen goes towards the spine, keeping a straight back and releasing the tension. So we relax there. So that's the first movement here. Then we go into a movement here. So it'll be right there located at the sternum again. Going forward, tightening up the muscles within the whole body, breathing in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding it for 3. Then relax. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to turn the hands downward. Breathe in. Keep the shoulders relaxed. This one is not going to be comfortable like that at first, but you get used to it. Just remember, always check yourself, check your body, check how you feel. Then you bring your shoulders down, holding the back of the hands towards the sternum. You don't necessarily got to touch it, but bring it as close as possible. Then you're pressing your muscles together. Breathe in 6. Make your stomach large like a beach ball, tongues behind the roof of the mouth, behind the teeth, and you're tightening up the muscles at the same time, simultaneously. Hold for 3, then breathe out for 6. The lower abdomen goes towards the spine. Then relax for 3. Then you do these twice, 3 times, 4 times, however you feel on each one. I'm just going through all of them. Then you turn your hands as much as you possibly can towards your chest. Keeping your shoulders relaxed again. Breathe in for 6, pressing your muscles together, tightening all the muscles in your body. This is standing. And then relax. Hold for 3 at the sternum region. Then relax. Going towards the spine with the abdomen. And then let go of the breath, or cessation of breath, where you're not breathing in or out, just relaxing. Including the muscles, untightening the muscles. Relaxation, tension exercise again, or exercise. So that's at the chest region. Now we go to
Every single nerve in me is in the line, safe to inhale. And if you live well, belong your years in the stay you. I've landed on some plane where I am, I can't explain or never know clarity. Running through me, come on y'all, you can't take this away from me.
6 seconds, straighten. Hold for 3. Then breathe out for 6.
Yo, what's up? This is Tajay of the Mighty Souls of Crew. I'm chilling with my man Festo, my man A Plus, and my man Oak. You know he's dope. And right now, we just in the studio. We're hailing from East Oakland, California, and sometimes it gets a little chill from 93 too.
Yeah, this is how we chill from 93 too.
This is how.
Bartender
to keep serving. I'm trying to be perfect, using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Map less, hope I can.
Ruger speak, an American got up in Cuba eats. The powers they seek and powers the weak, they follow and creeps. Powers that be, inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Been to the mountaintop towers and peaks. Flowers and sweets and showered our feet. The lightning and thunder that shower the sleep. Shower the D's, this not a verse, this our receipts.
What would I do with my send? Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got
Yak sipping, blowing blackism. Gat missing, he was lack slipping. Smack hit him, now we act different.
last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Map less, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherit.
Peace. All right. Yeah, I just went through that. Was Tachi towards the end of it. If you did know, yeah, right. I know, right. All right. So, and that was Combata and Red and Blue Pill on that cut right there. The breath, last breath. That song is motivational. I like that. There was a question about breathing. So when you breathe in and breathe out, um, it's what we call is back to baby breath, basically. So when the child was in the womb, the child was connected to the mother's umbilical cord, correct? You know what I'm saying? So as the baby was connected to the umbilical cord by way of the navel or the belly button, it was a type of breathing that the baby was actually doing. That's why we call it back to baby breath. So internal martial arts or internal alchemy, as far as a meditation and qigong, tai chi, and different types of internal martial arts, we breathe as if we are connected to our mother's umbilical cord. The reason that we breathe this way is so we could get the gene or the nutrients from our mother to eat, you know what I'm saying, and then form the physical body. So how that breath was, how we would do this was basically like this. We breathe in, our lower abdomen will bulge forward. So I'll show you my lower abdomen. So this is my belly button. So when we breathe in, this is, normal stomach, flat. And then when we breathe in, the belly button, the belly or the abdomen goes out. And then when we breathe out, we're breathing in the elements of what our mother has taken in, and it goes into our body. So again, breathing in. So that's actually taking in the breath here, holding it for 3, then breathe out. So when we were connected in that manner, that's what was taking place, and then we relax and we allow the food or whatever the elements in the foods, the nutrients, the vitamins and minerals, to go and feed the cells, and then we form into this physical body. You know what I'm saying? So when you engage upon the breathing in that type of exercise, standard meditation like Qigongs or any Tai Chi or whatever it may be, meditation, there's different ways to breathe. There's also bellows breathing where you breathe like that, and then there's the infinite breath where you actually breathe is opposite. From that where you go in first towards the spine, and then breathe out and make the stomach large like the beach ball, then relax. That's more of a expressed in advanced meditations and different practices. So get used to breathing in the pattern of the back to baby breath in your meditation, qigongs and whatnot. Then practice the other type of breathing exercises or exercises. You know what I mean? And they all are very effective. You know what I'm saying? But take steps, not necessarily like baby steps, but don't jump into it and lose your footing because we ain't strong enough to get over that gap or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you take your time with these things because but all we got is forever, right? So that's how it was put to me. So that's how I'm gonna put it to you. All we got is forever. Don't get caught up in the frustrations of the illusion of time and space. You know what I mean? Do what you do. But also remember that you are here for a reason. You are a spiritual being and going through a human experience. Don't be thinking we humans going through something spiritual and get caught up in all these things. These gooks out here trying to, or whatever we want to call these false experiences appearing real, fear, trying to control and dominate our mentality and our psychology by way of external means like the fire, air, water, and earth. You know what I'm saying? The earth, air, and water being contaminated. It contaminates our fire, our blood, and then, being spirit, whatever the intelligence, whatnot, cannot activate properly because we are on an ongoing struggle trying to eliminate the toxins within the body. So the cellular structure or the DNA, our genetic composition and advance properly. All right, so we have that forgetful state, the amnesia in America, or in the world in general. So Asia, planet amnesia. So this forgetful planet has forgotten its way due to the devices or due to the means of what someone else has dictated or indoctrinated us into in the past few decades and whatnot. So, get it together. Information is key. Information knowledge is valuable. Reading certain things, evaluating ourselves, paying attention to external elements that may not necessarily be beneficial to our growth and noticing the youth, noticing the ones that's coming behind us, noticing the ones that came before us. Give thanks, for those that come before us and have come and are coming behind us, but notice them and observe and be very objective about what's taking place, and then learn from that and move in the direction that you feel is profitable for you in your advancement. And I ain't talking about by money, and I'm just saying by profitable by way of gaining access to who you are truly. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up on what it look like, smell like, taste like, feel like, and what it sound like. Those are tricks. The five senses, can operate as five thieves as well. And like I said, it can rob us of our vitality or our energy as far as dealing with the five phases of traditional Chinese medicine or just the five phases in general of life. You know what I'm saying? So we are going into autumn, or we are in autumn now, actually. And I'm about to close out, but good tips and tricks while we are in autumn is the purge. You know what I'm saying? We just left late summer. We left summer into late summer. Late summer was that little stint where it got hot again. It was like 90 degrees, and they call it Indian summer as well. But within the five phases, we have five different exchanges of energies within the seasons, and basically autumn, winter, spring, summer, and late summer or Indian summer. So that now that we are in autumn, we are in a time to where we're about to go into winter. But if we go into winter and the blood is, which was the element of summer, the element, I mean the organ system of summer is heart and blood. You know what I'm saying? Fire is the element. The organ system of autumn is the lungs, and metal is the element, but it's basically minerals and whatnot, nourishment. So if we got this blood not working properly because we've been putting a lot of toxicity or acid forming foods or things like that, acid thinking or toxic thoughts into the body, as we flow into autumn, which is dealing with the lungs again, and we have not purged properly and got some of those that acidity out or the toxic minerals or toxic material that is located within the body, then we're gonna have some issues going in the winter when where that's kidney energy as far as the organ system, but it's water as well. But that water ain't gonna be pure. The alkalinity is not gonna be pure. It's gonna be more of an acid or fire type of reality than it should be water, and therefore it's death basically. You know what I'm saying? But that arrangement from summer into autumn into winter, that mid phase right there of autumn, equinox again, equal day and night. So right here in autumn, the equal day and night, we need to be balancing and purging out the different elements that may not necessarily need to flow into the winter. So the fruition when we get back to spring will be plentiful, you know what I'm saying, and bountiful, and abundance will occur again and again and again. So cleaning it out, clutter, you know what I'm saying? So right now we need to be putting things in the body that's going to affect the lungs in a positive way. That's going to be like purge and first detox, you know, maybe take a 1 to 3 day fast where you're drinking water and not putting nothing in there at all, you know. Also eliminating things from the body by way of evacuating or using enemas and whatnot. So just taking a good dump, you know what I'm saying, and getting that stuff out. Enzymes are very important, digestive enzymes, you know what I'm saying, as well as like acidophilus and things like that, probiotics, you know what I'm saying, to if you're on medications, such as NSAIDs or aspirin, Tylenol, things like that, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, then it's going to be depleting HCl or hydrochloric acid out of the stomach. So therefore, you're not going to be breaking down the elements and assimilating the elements in the foods properly to get nourishments, and it's also killing off friendly bacteria or microbes in the stomach that help keep the immune system strong. So we might have issues with digestion or assimilating those elements due to not having probiotics in the body as well. Due to maybe we putting too many antibiotics in the body. So put your probiotics in there, get some fiber going on, reduce um, low carb. A low carb diet is good, but if you do put carbs in the body, make sure they are good carbs, you know what I'm saying, that are healthy for you. So, like I was saying earlier, what I'm about to talk about as far as autumn, if you're gonna put elements in the body like foods, supplements, and things like that, sustenance, then broccoli, all cruciferous type of vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, okra, um, carrots, uh, onions, citrus. Definitely, grapefruits will be my recommended choice because it's low in sugar. So if you have diabetes, you won't raise your blood sugar. Don't add sugar; just eat it raw. You know what I'm saying? I like to get a couple of grapefruit, throw it in the blender with some water. Especially this time of the year, I don't do it all year round because it's not necessary. I mean, I drink it every once in a while, but right now, like Persian, getting those things up, those the acid effect of if we were overabundant. My diet is already like 70% raw, 30% cooked on the majority of the day. So I try to stay alkaline throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? But at this time of year, if we have been doing a lot of acid forming foods or whatnot, it would be good to go ahead and dump in some things that's going to help purge the lungs, like I was saying with that. So also herbs would be like cayenne, ginger, turmeric, stuff like that. Dandelion helps with purging and it's a diuretic. So getting the blood stimulated. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna go into a cold state. So the kidneys, water when it gets cold again, what happens? It freezes. So you don't want the water to freeze up on it. So we want to keep it warm by putting more warming type of elements into the body such as cooked food, but minimizing it. As far as like in summertime, we wanted more alkalizing food. Watermelon is, one of the things that is available because it's in season during the summer. It ain't really in season throughout the whole year, but it cools the body. You know what I'm saying? So I was dumping watermelon over the summer. I was killing it off. It helps too. But get your citrus in for about 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? There's something called the master cleanse where you get lemons, oranges, and things like that, grapefruit, some olive oil, I believe, and garlic, and put it all in some water and you dump that down for 2 weeks. And that's one thing you could do. But detox, most definitely, enymatics, cleanse out. This is ancient information. This ain't something that, the doctor ain't going to tell you to detox. The doctor ain't going to tell you to do enemas and fast either. You know what I'm saying? But this doctor will. You know what I mean? I ain't no doctor by some document. Doctor just means to teach. You know what I'm saying? Docere is a Latin word. It means to teach. So if you have the capability and the capacity to teach someone, as far as the first person you're going to teach is yourself. So I had the doctor on me. I had to teach myself how to act in this mode and be who I am. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to go to school to be a doctor. That's just a piece of paper. And when people start to denounce other people because they say they're a doctor, that's they a fluke. They ain't real. Whoever that person is needs to find their self. You know what I'm saying? In the ancient way or ancient Kemetic metaneter, the word doctor is sanu. Sanu, Sunnu. And the doctor was also like a high priest. He was a teacher, one who taught. You know what I'm saying? So when we speak on doctor and also indoctrination or indoctrine means to teach in. So someone is teaching us inwardly. When we speak on educate, it has the word duset in it, or dusa, which is also doctor. So when we speak on educate, it means to teach out. So true education means we are teaching out. And that's where our truth came from in the past. We taught outwardly. We brought things to fruition from inside, and we will bring it outwardly, you know what I'm saying, by other values and other menus, not by what someone had already placed out there, the indoctrination. So, lights, streets, baths, houses, cars, telephones, airplanes, all these different things, our necklaces, like our plugs or gauges, you know what I'm saying? These things came from within, and then we brought it out, you know what I'm saying? And as far as what's going on, that means educate. So when we educate, we had something inside of us and we brought it out to the public or to the masses, and we educated them by what we knew. All right, so teach to teach, that's doctor. So yeah, I'm not a doctor by trade or whatever, but I am a doctor by study. You know what I mean? And I'm a seafood by study. I'm not certified. Say I'm a certified black belt, whatever. And I give thanks to my seafood for allowing that to take place. But I'm not a certified so-called seafood. I take on a label sometimes because people say seafood is sensei to me, but that does require a certification as well. You know what I'm saying? A piece of paper. But as far as my studies is concerned, from my own point of view, from my own perspective, yeah, I am a teacher. Seafood means teacher as well. You know what I'm saying? So doctor means to teach, or doctor, a teacher. And so seafood means to teach. So I am a teacher. You know what I mean? So I give thanks to that, the quality and the attribute, the appellation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep striving and move forward towards being who I am. You know what I'm saying? In all respect. All right. So I give thanks to you guys for participating. You know what I'm saying? Learning with me as I learn with you. Now I love you in all regards, peace, prosperity, protection, and good health, and the greater good of all. All right, so we're gonna close out, and we're gonna play this in the background here. Not that. Play the Nagas and another cut, and we're just gonna fade out like that. All right, get thanks. Peace.
Nagas. Yeah. Yeah. Step in the place in my b-boy stance. Weapons advanced, your A-team don't stand a chance. Nick Cage with the face off. There's monuments erased out. Air race clouds, 5 elements produce sound. We're circled around in a cipher, no lighter. Raising suns higher, Phoenix fire. Passing in transition, the Nagas here to pay a visit. Unblinding justice spirit, ain't no riddle. Played fiddles, I'm sitting in the middle of the kennel eating vittles. Quite simple, put 7 dimples in your temple. Slow your tempo, ready stance Kimpo. Energy transference, mental slurs into prolific abstract words. Futures known, past remembered, present forgotten. Shifting bubbles, far-sighted Hubble. Uncover the double
the son
helix.
of Asar, a gift from the gods who rule, flying through the sky with golden wings, submerged into the light, knighted by the golden king with the scepter.
All the confusion, 183,000 divisions and religions, denominations, sex, codes, schisms, and isms. They're written in your Bible that Jesus spoke in parables. The scriptures and gospels aren't just historical. Many passages. Yo, in the chessboard game called life, we all been pawns. Puppets on strings controlled by the mind bonds. But you can't run with the devil and walk with God.
Heritage, the missing links. Spiritual truth, no signature. Here's the blur from invisible literature. Sitting at the dock of the bay with Otis, having rituals.